What's going on, guys? Always in the background, you're gonna see some probably Call of Duty gameplay. I don't know exactly what to put behind this. Just this is NFL Week 7 picks. I do have some Madden gameplay, but I probably won't put that behind it because I'm not playing Madden very much. So I'll probably just put some COD gameplay because I have a lot of gameplays left on my hard drive. So NFL Week 7 picks. It's the week of what is this? October 17th is the first game with the Seahawks at the Cardinals, and this is an interesting game because the Seahawks don't play well at home, and the Cardinals have a chance to win this game if their offense can put up some points, because I don't think Seattle's offense will do very well on the road in a hostile environment. Outside of home, they're not very good. So I still don't think the Cardinals can put enough points up, but I believe Seahawks will win this game in a close battle. Maybe 21-17 would be the score. Next game, Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Now this will be a bad game. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Tampa Bay, they could have won 3 other games, I think, on this year, but they lost all of them because they can't do well at the end. And then we have Atlanta, who sucks this year. I don't know what happened to them. They were a Super Bowl contender last year, but I don't know what happened to them this year. Can we call this an upset of the week? I don't know if we can, but Tampa Bay winning at Atlanta is, I guess, technically an upset because the Falcons are favored, but Tampa Bay is 0-5, Atlanta is 1-4, so that's not much of an upset, but I'm going to take Tampa Bay to win that game. Next, Chicago Bears at the Washington Redskins. I'm going to take the Bears in this game because I don't think RG3 isn't doing very well this year. I don't know. The Redskins are doing terrible this year. Their defense sucks. Everything about their team isn't very good. So I'm going to take the Bears to win this game by a score of 31-10 because I don't think Washington can score that many points. Dallas at Philadelphia. I'm going to have to take Dallas in this game because I don't think the Eagles are very good. Nick Foles had a decent game last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know if he's playing or Vic's playing. If Foles is playing, they might win, but if Vic is, I don't think he'll do very well in this game against the Cowboys. So I'm going to take the Cowboys to win that game. Patriots at the Jets. This is an interesting game because Geno Smith has been doing well this year, except for the last game they played against the Steelers, I do believe, in which he didn't play very well, and he's the reason they lost the game. But Patriots on the road at New York, this will be a close game, and I do believe this is also an upset. The New York will win this game in a very close battle. New York will win this game maybe 24-21. Buffalo at Miami. Thad Lewis had a pretty decent game last week for a guy that's never played before and that no one knows who he is. But I don't think they can win at Miami. Miami's a pretty good team. They haven't been playing very well recently, but I know Miami can beat the Bills probably 28-17. Now, the Chargers at the Jaguars. This is an interesting game because the Jaguars played so well against the Broncos last week. I don't know how they did it, but they put up, 19 points, something like that, against the Broncos in Denver. So this is the craziest upset of the year. I am taking the Jaguars, and this is probably really stupid. So if people look back in this video, yes, this is really stupid. But I'm going to take the Jaguars to win this game. I think their defense is decent. If their offense, Chad Henne is so much better than Blaine Gabbert. I don't know why Chad Henne doesn't play over Blaine Gabbert, but if Chad Henne plays, their offense can put up some points, and their defense is pretty good. I think Phillip Rivers will struggle. I know they beat the Colts last week in a pretty good game. Now I'm going to take the Jaguars to win this game, maybe 17-14. St. Louis at Carolina, definitely St. Louis in this game. They played very well. They beat the Texans, the Texans aren't as good as advertised. Definitely not. The Rams are going to go into Carolina and beat the Panthers, even though the Panthers had a good win against the Vikings last week, even though the Vikings suck this year. But I'm going to take the Rams to win that game. Sam Bradford actually had a pretty good game, so I'm going to take them to win maybe 31-24. Cincinnati at Detroit. This is a pretty good game. Cincinnati's been in a lot of close games this year, but haven't been able to pull them out. Detroit had a good win at Cleveland, who Cleveland's been playing really well this year. What is it, Evan Fourier, I think is his name. He had a great game for Detroit, and I'm going to take the Lions to win this game against the Bengals by a pretty high score, 38-24. San Francisco at Tennessee. To be honest, the Titans suck without Jake Locker. They were playing pretty well. I was actually scared as a Colts fan. I was scared of the Titans with Jake Locker. They looked really good, but I think he's out for the rest of the year, or out for most of the year. So I'm going to take the 49ers to rout the Titans because Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's not, he can't do it. So I'm going to take the 49ers to win 31-10. Houston at Kansas City. Houston got embarrassed last week at home to the Rams. They got destroyed. I think it was 38-6, something like that. I don't know. Is Matt Schaub going to play? I think he got hurt and the fans cheered. I don't blame him for cheering because he is terrible. He is the reason they have lost every game this year. And I'm going to take Kansas City. Their defense is really good. And they're going to definitely stop TJ Yates, maybe. I guess he's going to play. So take Kansas City definitely to win that game. Maybe offense doesn't put up that many points. Maybe it'll be 21-3. I don't think Texans can score very much. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Baltimore's going to win in a blowout because the Steelers are terrible. They got lucky, I guess, last week. Their roster's 700 years old. On average, their average player is 700 years old. Their defense, their offense is pretty old too. They're just an old team, and they definitely need to rebuild for the future because this year's not going anywhere. They might want to start losing so they can get a higher draft pick. But take the Ravens to win that game pretty handily at maybe a 27-13. Cleveland at Green Bay, and now this is an interesting game because Cleveland's been playing pretty well this year with whatever his name, what's the guy's name? Brian Hoyer, but Brian Hoyer is out for the year, so I wonder how well they're going to play against the Packers. Brandon Weeden sucks. Did you see that pass last week against who they played, Detroit, when he sidearm flipped it or whatever, 40 feet in the air, and it got intercepted? So I'm going to take Green Bay in this game, in a close game, because the Browns' front seven is really good. The Browns have a really good defense, very underrated, but I don't think they can beat the Packers at home. Aaron Rodgers, they have a tough defense in Cleveland, but I think Aaron Rodgers will still play well. So I'm going to take the Packers in that game. It'll be a low-scoring game, probably 21-14. Now, game of the week, in my opinion, I know I'm being a homer, but Broncos at Indianapolis. Peyton returning to Indianapolis after, I don't know, 12 years he was there. Indianapolis, to be honest, as a Colts fan, I can say we sucked last week. I probably know what they did. They were probably looking forward to this week when they played the Broncos, and they overlooked the Chargers on their schedule. So that's probably the reason we lost that game, because we didn't even look at that game. We were looking forward to the next week. So was I. So were all the fans are looking forward to the Broncos game next week. But Andrew Luck is definitely the real deal. He's definitely the best second-year quarterback in the league, way better than Griffin. And even though Russell Wilson is pretty good, Andrew Luck's better. And I believe the Colts will win this game at home to Denver, handing them their first loss. I don't know how Denver performs in hostile environments, as we know with Peyton when he played. Who are they? New England when he was a Colt. He always struggled in hostile environments. Even though I like the guy, he didn't perform well in pressure, and there's going to be a lot of pressure in this game, especially playing his old team. So I'm going to take the Colts to win this game, 35-28. It'll be a close game. Colts might score near the end to win. Now, worst game of the week by far. I don't know why. Before the season, this looked like a good game, but Minnesota at New York. New York is 0-7, 0-6. They suck. I don't know what happened to them. Eli Manning's not playing well this year. But Josh Freeman, I think that's his name, he's starting now they just signed him. They signed him off free agency. The Vikings did, and he's going to start. So I believe the Vikings may be able to, I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but they'll make a good push, and they'll be a decent team. They might get to 500, I don't know. But I do believe Minnesota's going to destroy New York in this game. New York will score maybe 10 points. Eli will get sacked 47 times like every game. And I believe Detroit will win this game by a score of 27-13. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of Week 7 picks. I'm going to do weekly picks every year in the NFL. And who knows, I might do some Colts recaps because I'm a Colts fan. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And as always, I'll see you next week in my Week 8 picks.